if you're watching this video, if you've clicked on this video and you're on self-improvement or you're thinking about getting onto self-improvement, you are well and truly ahead of the game in terms of other people who haven't got on it yet. And I've been seeing this video going around a few places with this title, but one thing that I need to address is that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're watching these videos. You can watch all the self-improvement videos you want. The issue is you're giving yourself the reward of doing action without having any action taking place. Like, you're watching this video, right? And you've got a dopamine hit from the title. Because I've said that if you're clicking on this video, you're ahead. That's going to stroke your ego. Of course you are. Of course you're going to like that, right? Because it makes you feel good about yourself. Well, to be honest, most of you probably aren't ahead of the game. I'll be completely honest with you. Some of you who've been on your stuff, been on self-improvement and have actually seen some results starting to happen in your life, then sure, yeah, you're starting to get ahead of the game. But you're not truly that far ahead. You get ahead of the game when you've been on this for over a year at least. 2 years at least. I say, like, now there's a significant gap between where you started and where you are. Like, it's a noticeable difference. It's not like a very minor thing. Like, it's easy to see that you are a completely different person. People recognize you as a different person. Because you can go to the gym for a month or two and you can work on your habits for a little bit, but you won't really appear to be any different. Your personality is probably more or less the same. You may feel a little bit better, but nothing would have really changed at a major level. Now, you go do that for a year, for 2 years. Okay, now we're starting to see something happen. It's not the complete same anymore. When other people are starting to notice the results of whatever it is, whether it's in the gym, whether it's your money, whether it's your business, whether it's your grades, when other people start to see the results changing, that's when I think you're ahead of the game. That's when I think, okay, right, now we're starting to see some traction. Like, I started a channel on my main channel 9 months ago. For the first 3-4 months, I wouldn't really say I was ahead of the game. I was trying and it wasn't really working. Only in the last 2 months has it actually been something like, okay, now we're starting to go somewhere with this. It's not just stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So you have to get a hold of your ego on this, because you probably aren't as good as you think you are. You honestly, I went through this. I thought I was the shit, man. I thought I was I was making money, starting to look better, and that's all good. And I'm so happy that I am, right? But still, there's still way more work to be done. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm nowhere near my maximum potential. Me personally, I do believe in the male advantage. So I'm not going to hit my peak until at least 30, 35. So I've got a good 12, 13, 14 years left until that. So, bro, I can kind of imagine myself in a few years. Like, by the end of this year, I want my main channel to be at least 25k. Ideally, 50k. My main channel. If for the videos that I make are good and the algo picks it eventually, then it's definitely doable. That would be really cool. But at the end of the day, I haven't done it yet. I can have the goal. I can write the goal down to say I want this, and you get a sense of accomplishment by just writing the goal down. But you haven't done it yet, alright? Be glad about the progress that you've made, but remember that you're not really where you want to be yet. You still got a lot of work to do. Like, my money isn't where I want it to be yet. Like, it's a good 2-3k a month, but I want 10k a month. I want 20k a month. I haven't got it yet, so I got to keep going. I don't have time to really, be very happy at. I can be grateful for my progress, but at the end of the day, I can't let that slow me down either. If anything, the results that you've got should motivate you to go even harder, to push even further, because now you've seen the results, compound effect kicks in, and then boom, then you start to see a massive change in your life. But people hop onto self-improvement and they think they're the shit. They think they're so good all of a sudden, right? At the end of the day, right, there's a lot of people on self-improvement now. It's not just a couple people. Like, think about it, right? I think like the term self-improvement cumulatively probably has over like 100 million views now. That's 100 million people who are like aware of it. Okay, let's say like people who watch it consistently. Probably about like 50 million, like I would say people who watch self-improvement consistently, like Better Ideas, Matt the Fella, they got a couple mil. It's probably a good like 5 to 20 million people who watch self-improvement consistently. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of guys and girls, you know? That's a lot of people. And some guys and girls in there are going crazy. They're really rocketing to the top. So you want to be right along with them, because just like in society, how you have like people who are at different status levels, it's the same thing as self improvement. You're just starting, but you're starting from the bottom of self improvement, which is still way higher than the average person. But we're not comparing ourselves to the average person. Why would I compare myself to the average person? Because I want to be so much better. I need to compare myself to people who are trying to do what I'm doing, who got the same kind of drive and ambition I do, because that's actually like a realistic metric for me. Of course I'm doing better than the average person. The average person doesn't care at all. So if you just care and you try a bit, you're already ahead. So I don't compare myself to the average person. I compare myself to myself firstly, and people who I aspire to have certain qualities of. So for example, like if I had like a friend who was very consistent on his meditation and I'm not at the moment, I'd be like, okay, let's see, what is he doing differently to me that I need to implement? What things can I learn? That's who I'll compare myself to. It's very easy to get caught up in a cycle of envy though if you start doing that. So you do have to be quite careful on how you do this. But the fact that you are watching this video, you are definitely ahead of the game. You are definitely doing more than most. I'm not disputing that. What I'm trying to get at is that shouldn't blind you. That shouldn't stroke your ego to the extent where you just keep watching videos about how great you are because you got onto self-improvement and you think you're the shit. Go get some results. Because you haven't maxed out in anything yet. You've maxed out in nothing. You're not even close to maxing out in anything. And I'll say it again, right? Social skills is underlooked at. So people need to start maxing that out. Like, I'm nowhere near maxing it, but I've definitely made a lot more progress than most people that I've spoken to on self-improvement. There's not many who have done more than social skills than me, because I've spent so much time on it. Has it caused me to lag out in certain aspects of self, like my habits maybe are not as strong, but I need to bring it all together. I still have my flaws. I'm not perfect, and I get that I'm still learning things. Like, I get that there's still a lot of things that I'm making mistakes on, and that keeps you grounded. You can be grateful for the progress that you've made, but it shouldn't take away to understand your actual position in society, because you haven't got the results yet to prove anything. You haven't actually really done much, so you shouldn't be getting all like super happy, you know. You should just be like, okay, it's nice that I now understand this. It's nice that I have this new knowledge. Now go do some action with it. You can't just sit there and talk about it. I mean, like, you're just a talker. You know what I'm saying? This is what I see a lot of the time. There's all these self-improvement YouTubers who, they talk the talk, but do they walk the walk? Like, I see a lot of people now talking about leveling up like cold approaches in game. But why don't you show some examples of you doing it then, if you're so good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to show more of that on my main, but you never know what can happen, because things can go well, things can go bad. You just have to keep trying with it and understand that there's probably somebody out there who's better than you at it, and that's completely fine. That's completely fine. Strive to get to their level. Strive to get to their level. That's what you should really do. That's what I'm trying to do, because I see guys on YouTube who are a lot better than me, and I'm like, wow, I can learn a lot from this. I can learn a lot in terms of the pacing of my videos, how I interact with people, the type of titles, the content, like what's going to really appeal, what could potentially go viral. That's a lot of it, man. It's like a never-ending cycle of, yes, I made progress, I feel great, but at the end of the day, there's still so much more work to be done. There's always more work to be done. I don't think anyone's ever going to feel like they completely self-improve. It's a journey that never ends. It is honestly a journey that never ends. And I think having like having like an online presence as well allows your legacy to just stay forever. But I'm getting sidetracked here. So at the end of the day, whatever it is that you're looking to do, okay, I'm not disputing that you shouldn't chase it. What I'm saying is, when you get onto self-improvement, right, understand that this is a long process. This isn't like a quick 1 month thing. This is a lifestyle, bro. This is a way of life. This isn't like a thing you do. This isn't like No Nut November where you just do it for a month. This is like an actual lifestyle that you implement for the rest of your life, basically. Whether that's now, whether that's after university, or when you're like in your 20s, or in your 30s, or when you've got a family, like whatever situation you're in, this can be applied into any of them. So just to get that, you know what? Be glad for where you are. Be glad for jumping into the industry of self-improvement. But don't let it consume you, because you get stuck into the self-improvement trap where you watch stuff and nothing happens, and you just keep doing that over and over again. And what's worse now is that you feel bad about watching stuff now because you're not taking any action. It's like now you're consciously aware of the things that you should be doing and the things that you shouldn't be doing. Like, it's even more clear. And when you don't do them, you feel even worse about yourself. So you have to take action for your own mental health. As if you know what the right things to do are and you purposely choose not to, that's going to hit you, man. That's not going to feel good. You're going to feel pretty bad about yourself. That's going to wreck your self-esteem. It's going to wreck your confidence with yourself. It's going to wreck your mood. So at the end of the day, whatever advice you hear, I would kind of limit yourself to like how much videos you watch and stuff, because you get introduced to all this new knowledge and you're not going to implement all of it just like that, you know? Just take one video, take the advice from one video and actually put it in. Then go watch the next one. If you haven't watched the next one, then why? If you've gone and watched the next one without implementing it, I just don't think there's really a point, you know? Whether that's on my channel or on a different channel, it doesn't really matter whose channel it is. At the end of the day, it's all about improving your life, right? And if you just overconsume and you get an information overload and nothing actually comes out of it, instead you get analysis paralysis. There's like all these choices, all these different habits that you can start and you don't know what to pick. Bro, just pick one. Doesn't really matter. Just roll a dice and pick one and do that for a week. And if you don't do it for a week, then if you do it for 2 days and you mess up, then try again. You know what I'm saying? And then get one habit consistent and then work on another and then work on another. It shouldn't be like, okay, I'm going to do this in the first day. Like, I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to read, and then I'm going to go gym, and then I'm going to go for a run, and then I'm going to make dinner, like a very clean diet. Like, if you try to do all of it just straight away, it won't be sustainable. You have to ease yourself into this. So start with one habit, then try 2, the week after, then try 3. Yes, it may take longer to get going, but you'll stay there and you will see your gains are exponential. Then you would have actually made progress instead of just watching more videos on how to do it. You've actually gone and done it. You've implemented it. You've progressively overloaded it gradually into your life. And now you've got the results to show for it. It's not just, I watched a video, I tried it, didn't really work. Tried a new video, tried it, didn't really work. Did it for a week, ended up discarding it. This is the problem. People try to do way too much too soon. You just have to be gentle with it, get into it, and the results will come. It just takes longer than you think a lot of the time. For me, it took a lot longer than I thought. So that's all I got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.